is to take the story forward. So what next? So actually, since I am, as Aisha said, a doctor of narrative practice, I'm a storyteller by profession. Here's the story. So a man and a woman were walking through the forest. So the man was walking in front. He had his bow and arrow in one hand. He had his spear in the other hand. And around his waist, he had his hunting knife. Behind him walked his wife. She was beautiful. She had her bundle of clothes on her head. She had the baby on her back. She had a little hunting knife around her waist too. Suddenly the man stopped and he said, "Woman," as they do, "Woman, I'm hungry. Turn yourself into a lioness," because I know you can. "Turn yourself into a lioness, run off into the forest, find a deer, catch it, kill it, bring it back over here, and then skin it, clean it, cook it, and serve it to me." And the woman said, "Well, you already have your spear and your bow and arrow, and I have the baby with me. How about you go out into the forest and you bring the deer back, and I will skin it, clean it, and cook it for you?" And the man said, "Woman, did you hear me asking for an argument? You will go into the forest. You will find that deer. You will kill it. You will bring it back over here, and then you will skin it, clean it, cook it, and serve it to me." Now, I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that this was a very bright woman. She wasn't going to argue for nothing. So she put the baby down. She put a little bit of cloth down first. She put the baby down carefully. She changed herself into a lioness and she ran off into the forest. She found that little deer. She killed it, and using the great big muscles of the lioness, she dragged that carcass back to where that baby was. And fortunately, the baby was still asleep when she got back. She looked at her husband and she said, "I am now going to start skinning, cleaning, cooking this deer. So if the baby wakes up, would you please look after it for me?" But at this point, she still had the yellow glint of the kill in her eyes, and she still had that little bit of blood down the side of her mouth. And the only sound that came out of her mouth was, "Rrrr." The husband was petrified. And so he ran. He ran to the closest tree, he climbed up the tree, and he hid over there amongst the branches and the leaves, shaking and shivering in fright. And she was really annoyed, so she went to the bottom of the tree and she said, "What are you doing? I need your help. Can you come down, please?" But the only sound that came out of her mouth was, "Grrr." Thank you. That was a pretty good growl, actually. The only sound that came out of her mouth was "grrr." And so the husband stayed where he was, shivering and shaking with fear. And the woman, like I said earlier, she was a very bright woman. She wasn't going to stand around trying to get somebody to do something they're not going to. So she went back. She sat down and she started quickly working on the carcass, and at the same time she started to sing to the baby to make sure that he didn't wake up. And as she sang and she cooked and she cleaned, and just about the time that she had actually finished putting the meat on the fire to cook, the baby woke up. So she picked him up and she rocked him and she fed him and she rocked him back to sleep. And the husband, while he was watching, when he finally saw her actually rocking the baby, feeding the baby, singing to the baby, he picked up his courage and he came down. And he skirted around her and went and sat down on the other side, and he ate up his food. And once the food was in his mouth, he felt brave again. So he got up and he said, "Woman, we're ready to move. Back up." So the woman picked up her clothes and she put them on her head, and she picked up the baby and put the baby on her back. She picked up the rest of the meat. She was a good housewife. She wasn't going to waste it. She picked up the rest of the meat. She folded it, hung it around her neck. And as they started to move off, she tapped her husband on the shoulder and she said, "You know what? You're my husband. I love you. And, it's my duty to look after you and my family. Therefore, I will do anything that you want me to do. And I will become anything that you want me to become. So, be very careful what you ask me to become." With that, ladies.